I was a paramedic for almost 17 years. And yes, people absolutely do pass out on scene. Let me tell you about two of them. And there's two stories that come to mind when I think about people passing out on scene. And I have a bonus story for you at the end if you stick around. So, okay, let's get right into it. Story number one, the motorcycle. So it was a beautiful spring day, and I was right in the heart of the city. We get called for a motor vehicle collision in a residential neighborhood, and so my partner and I take off to this residential area, and just a beautiful part of town, really prodigious homes, and an affluent neighborhood. And so we're curious, residential area, really how much speed and mechanism could be there. But we pull up, and as I pull up into this right-hand turn to get onto the residential street, I see this driveway, and it's slanted kind of down a hill, and I see blood. I see blood coming down this driveway and hitting the grate at the bottom. And then I see a gaggle of people all standing outside and kind of just waiting for us to park and get out and do something. So I was like, oh, geez, okay. So I hop out, my partner hops out, and fire is quickly behind us, fire rescue, because it came across as a motor vehicle collision, so they get dispatched with us. And we hop up, and the first thing I notice is there's a guy laying in the middle of the driveway and a motorcycle proximal to him. And the one thing I noticed immediately, aside from those two things, was that this poor guy's leg was like spiral rolled and facing away. It was like completely 90 degrees away from him, and that's not good. Legs don't bend that way. And so I was like, holy crap, man, like what happened? So the guy had just bought this motorcycle, brand new motorcycle, really nice Harley, and he thought he had to give it a little bit more power than he had to get up his driveway. And unfortunately, when he did that, he lost control of it and ended up canting the bike onto its side, and then it just spiraled, and he was underneath it while it did that. Hence the spiral leg, and the leg now facing 90 degrees in the opposite direction. So I was like, okay. Now there's two big things as a paramedic that you have to remember. We are there for life and limb. Any threat to those two things is something that we need to intervene and stabilize prior to transport. So I decide to take his boot off. I'm using my trauma shears to cut his boot off and cut up his pant leg. And I go and I check for a pulse. There's a pulse on the top of the foot that you could check for. And I checked, and there's nothing there. So there's no dorsal pulse. I'm like, oh crap. Okay, that's not good. So I tell Ryan, I was like, hey Ryan, we gotta move this leg, but I need to hold it in place until we're ready to do so. So I turned to the fire guy who's now beside me. I was like, hey man, I need you to hold this leg for me. I gotta go get some stuff. So I ran and grabbed some more trauma stuff. I come back, he's holding this leg, and I kneel down beside him. And by this time, Ryan has initiated an IV, and we're gonna start some pain management prior to getting this thing going. And the fire guy, I didn't notice it at the time because I was busy. I was just doing things, and I didn't notice it. So he says, hey doc, paramedic. And I was like, oh yeah, what's up? And he's like, is that a maggot? I'm like, what? He's like, is that a maggot? And I was like, a maggot? So I looked down where his eyes were tracking, and on his kneecap, on his bunker pants, was this fat, gelatinous, kind of yellowy orange kind of thing. And it was moist and gross, and it was just there. And I was like, oh no, man, that's a piece of fat from his leg. which is gross, but anyway, this guy goes, oh, okay. And then Ryan's pushing the morphine. Now we're getting ready to move his leg. And I'm like, okay, we got to move his leg now. And he just stays there for a second. And I'm like, hey man, we gotta move it. Hey. And I look, and all the color is drained out of his face. He is white as a ghost now. And I start to see sweat glistening his forehead and his brow. And so I was like, oh, I know what's about to happen here. I was like, hey Cap, one of your boys here. He looks down. He looks at me and goes, oh, hey, Robson. Hey, Robson. Let's go to the truck. He goes, what? And so I take over stabilization, and Robson stands up, and he shouldn't have stood up. It was a terrible idea to stand up, but he stood up and he starts going down, and he is like, woo, like a freaking tree felling. And his buddy's gonna grab on him. There's two fire guys. So now the one guy, they've interlocked his arms, okay? And one on one side, one on the other, all right? And they start dragging him away like a war casualty down this driveway. Now here's what you gotta remember, okay? We're in a residential street. There's a bunch of blinkies and blah. So every single person and their dog is out on the street, kind of wondering and looky-looing as to what's going on here. And now they see this fire guy being dragged off like he's been shot by a sniper. And they're dragging him across the road, and you just hear his gear just fornicating with the pavement as they drag him away. And oh my God, dude. I don't know why I find that story so funny. I think just the visuals of it for me is why I love it so much. I know it's gross. He was kneeling in a person's human fat. That's gross. I get it. I didn't love it either. And I wasn't even wearing bunker pants. I just had my blue polyester paramedic pants. But by that time in my career, I'd seen some things, and that's why I knew it was easily identifiable as just some body fat. Like some fat flew out of his leg, man. His leg is, shredded. But so yeah, this guy, down he went. He was gone. And that story is one of my favorite ones. I always come back to that one because not only do I find it visually and auditorily hilarious, but I also get to kind of stick it to the fire guys just a little bit, a bit of a healthy rivalry that we got going on. So there's story number one. Story number two isn't as much a pass out situation as it is just something funny, like an oddity. Okay, so I just told you about kneeling in a person's human fat, and I was not taken aback by that in any way that would disrupt my regulation. So I worked with a guy, top-notch paramedic, one of the best. Like, I would still trust him to work on my family to this day. He was a phenomenal human being, phenomenal practitioner. But for whatever reason, he couldn't handle the sound of dry heaving. Dry heaving just sent him over the edge for some reason. Now, if you know anything about being a paramedic, we hear lots of dry and wet heaving throughout the course of any given day. And so there's one time in particular, we go and we pick up this college student who had a little too much to drink. And we're in the back of the ambulance with her, and she has a friend with her as well, just because, we feel comfortable bringing a friend with us. Nice for her to have somebody there. Anyway, so I'm going to start an IV because I want to sober this person up so that they get the hell out of our care and go along their business. We have to take him to the hospital regardless, but I want to sober her up as quickly as I can so I don't have to sit there all night. And I'm getting ready to start this IV, and all of a sudden she's sitting in the stretcher and she kind of goes and now my partner, who is standing at the head end of the stretcher just behind, every time she did it, every time she retched, he was like, like he looked like that scene from Dumb and Dumber. Oh my God, dude. Like the funniest thing, one of the funniest visuals is just looking up my partner. Oh, yeah, that happened. Oh, okay. Bonus story for you. Bonus story is we had a student, okay? Now, the thing about having a student is they're either really good, really shy, or really terrible. And this student was really, really good and really, really shy. And we go to a diabetic call, and when we get to the diabetic hall, this person is unconscious and they are of low blood sugar. So we end up initiating an IV and starting to give drugs to correct that. Sometimes when we do that, a person can wake up quite nauseous because it's a big shock to the system. There's just a whole lot of things physiologically going on within the body, and they can get a little nauseous. And so we generally, prepare for something like this. So in my pant leg pocket, I always carried a puke bag, and I ended up taking it out, had it in my hand, just in preparation. This individual starts coming out of their depressive state, and begins to kind of examine the room and start to piece together, oh, I had a diabetic emergency. These are paramedics. Okay. So we're letting our student kind of run the show. He's running things. He's doing a really good job, and we're kind of helping him out wherever, the need arises. But then, same thing. This lady starts kind of retching. Your shoulders kind of moving. And I was like, oh, so I go to hand the puke bag to the student so that he can kind of mitigate what's going on. But by the time he grabbed the bag, it had already begun. Just a geyser of vomit from this lady. And so we all move out of the way as if she's Emily Rose and this is an exorcism. And it ends, and then you do a quick little puke check. So I'm looking at my shoes, I look at the cuffs of my pants, and I do the little Macarena, check my uniform, check my shirt. All good. I'm good, man. I turn to look at Ryan just to do a little buddy check. And I notice now his face has changed a bit. And it's not like a face of pure concern, but it's like concern and whimsy, like that's the best way I can describe it. And he's looking down at the student and the patient. And so I track where he's tracking, and I look down and I see the student. He has his hand on the patient's shoulders. He got, trying to reassure, he's telling you, here, use a puke bag if you need to, and you can. But what he's blissfully unaware of is that he wasn't as lucky as we were, and he got puked on. But not in a way that you would really know about it. At least, not in a way he knew about it. See, the way he got puked on wasn't this moisty bile type thing all over his shirt like in the movies, and it wasn't dripping and sopping. No, this poor guy just had a glob of puke. A glob of puke on his chin. And he had no idea. And he's consoling this patient, and the patient's just staring at this glob of puke, of her puke on his chin. And Ryan's staring at her puke on our student's chin. And I'm staring at Ryan, stare at the chick, stare at the puke, stare at the student. And I quickly begin to disintegrate, and I have to try and keep my shit together, right? I am a professional. I need to keep this shit on lock. And so I go, hey, Dylan, hey, Dylan. He goes, yeah. I was like, hey, man. And he kind of, what? I was like, and he's like, I should put a mask on. I was like, no, you're good. And he goes, oh, ma'am, are you having any trouble breathing? And I'm like, no, Dylan, no. You got a little schmutz. And he's kind of really confused looking at me now. And then he goes, no. I'm like, yeah. And so he stands up and he turns and he walks down the hallway about like 3 or 4 feet. And there's like this kind of, I don't know what you call them. It's like a wooden display, but it has like a mirror in it too. You like put your car keys and stuff there, but it's got like a mirror. It's kind of like an entryway thing. Anyway, he looks in the mirror and he sees the glob on his chin. And then he turns and looks at us. And he starts to go white. Now, he is a very tan complexion. So for him to go white is amazing. And I'm like, hey, dude, you want to go outside and get some air? And he goes, uh-huh. So he goes outside. And Ryan's like, I'll go with him. Like, sounds good. So I'm packaging up the patient. I'm getting everything ready. And the patient decides they don't want to go to the hospital. So I'm like, okay, great. You know, you don't technically have to go. We recommend it, whatever. So I do a cancellation. And I notice that Ryan and the student have not buttoned back in. So I grab all of our stuff, as much as I can anyway. I have to come back in for a second, but I grab all our stuff and I open the door. And, the first thing I notice off to my right is Ryan kneeling beside our student, and our student who's just sitting with his back resting against the wall, his legs splayed out. And Ryan's just kind of giving him some water. And I'm like, what happened here? And Ryan's like, oh, had a bit of a moment, you know. I'm like, did he pass out? Ryan's like, he passed the fuck out. So yeah, the answer to your question is yes. People and paramedics pass out on scene. It happens, and you know what? It's hilarious.